Don't forget, today's information is for informative purposes only. It is not financial advice. Please do your due diligence, read our disclaimer. You can check that out on our website at BluSky.pro as well. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. Thanks again to BluSky for hanging through the midday show. That was awesome of him. And we're back at it. Who's ready for Pow Wow? Who's long, who's short? What y'all thinking? RQ, I know you're already scheming. I know you are. You got something on your mind, right? Let's move over to the stocks and options, see what's over there on the chain. Right on. I'm thinking the same thing. Welcome to Power Hour. That's it. Good luck, everyone. Let's make some money. Got a nice bounce. I also noticed, we broke out of that trend line I'd drawn earlier. So that's definitely a good sign. I'm watching the Russell right now and the Dow to see what they're going to do. They're kind of lagging this. So I'm short right now as well. This is where I would normally try to short, then my face gets ripped off. Yep. Well, that depends on what the trend has been. It's been mostly selling. Look at it like this. You have defined risk. You got that previous higher high. So you could use that as your stopping point versus going long. You have to have a longer long or a bigger stop for the long in case it has drawdown. So that creates that which side of the fence and how much risk do you want to incur on your trade, you know? Exactly. We are above the prior day orb highs. So, that is definitely incentive for upside. There's the volume there for it there. Or will the bears come in and just swat it down? I mean, it didn't even have to be a big push. I mean, we could still come down, tap the orb high. We're in the middle of power hour. So it's really one of those moments that if it doesn't break out here, it's just gonna come back down to the orb high. So even in both instances, if you want to go for the short or the long, you've got to find, higher high. If I was going for the long, I'd be looking at 25,742. That'd be my upside target. You got that prior wick high still up at 25,723. Hey, Coach Matt, welcome to Power Hour.
What is up, team?
What is up, Coach Matt?
Hanging out, enjoying the nice little recovery here today after that overnight session. I think the Bulls can give a lot of thanks to the Bank of London here today. They came in very, very good last night. Oracle just kept everything down a little bit, gave us that pump in the RSP today. It's going to be interesting if Broadcom, who reports tonight, Ace, it'll be interesting to see if they wipe off that stink from Oracle, because I'm willing to bet right now if it wasn't for Oracle last night, would be up above every all-time high right now. Yeah, well, Nvidia got caught up in the Oracle AI trade, and the concern with Oracle wasn't necessarily their quarter here. They had a really good quarter, honestly. The concern on Oracle was more about kind of how are they going to finance their AI build out, and whether or not they're putting, the cart before the horse there a little bit. And so there's obviously concern. Oracle made a massive mistake last quarter by getting everybody excited about that $300 billion build out, all financed based on credits, and now they don't even know how they're going to finance it. And so Oracle in my estimation, it's more of an Oracle story, but obviously the AI trade got caught up in Oracle because they're one of, probably a top 15 component in the AI trade, I would say. And so they kind of brought everything down just on the overnight session, but those buyers came in. Nvidia wants it, but they're going to have to wait on Oracle tonight. And while that AI trade figures out what it wants to do, like RSP looks fantastic on the breakout. ES is looking pretty good on the potential break to get into that 6950 level. Most time frames support the bulls right now. Themes certainly support the bulls outside of the AI trade. There's two major trades going on right now outside of what we talk about on the intraday side. You have the AI trade, and then you have the currently established QE trade. And the QE trade is dominating the landscape today. Silver's in. You're either in or you wish you were in. Like that's silver right now. It would take a lot for me to get off my silver position. What's your thoughts right now? We're navigating some very interesting resistance levels right now, Riz.
I like the breakout. The trouble with this is that these breakouts fail more often than not. You know,
Mhm.
the initial time you would have wanted to have taken it was down here at the break of the 200. Now we've already moved up this far. We're right at the start of this hourly candle. I would expect some pullback for a little bit and probably maybe where are we at on the day? We're, we're almost flat for the day. So we're just a few points below it. So I would imagine some consolidation and probably just get us to a break even day and stay in this range. I was expecting a tap of the orb high is actually what I'm expecting, here in the next hour. We'll see how it plays out though.
Where's the orb high on the Nasdaq? I've been
That's
looking
at
at the
that,
ES all day.
that is at 25,651.
Yeah, I was gonna say a tap on the orb high makes a lot of sense on the Nasdaq. Honestly, it's not too big of a pullback there. I would not want to see that on the ES. Honestly, like any pullback, I'd like to see kind of 68.90. Orb high on the ES is all the way down to around the 68.75 level. It wouldn't be a terrible pullback, but the ES has more strength in it than the Nasdaq does today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to see it give up that much. I'm kind of looking on any pullback here around the 68.90 level on the ES. That's a
Mm-hmm.
level that really kind of, as yesterday was pulling back coming into the close, that's kind of that level that was starting to develop on that pullback. And then Oracle's news came out and the ES just, kind of flipped the script there on the reopen on the futures. But that level at 68.90 is an interesting level for any pullback analysis.
All right. Well, at least my eyes aren't deceiving me today.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing yesterday, Gabber. I was anticipating the reopening of the futures market. I was certainly looking at it going into Australia and certainly looking at it going into the Asian Open, but I just didn't like the price action, honestly. Like that thing just once it got smoked on the reopen, like it never had a bid candle. Like until we got into like a little bit of Asia. Like it didn't have a bid candle. It was all Oracle, all coming right back down. It really didn't kind of solidify until later in the evening after the Bank of London came out. And then once the Bank of London came out, it's been recovering ever since then. But I will look at the same level.
Oh, most definitely, Ace. I made some money trading the Russell today. Actually, the IWN. I chose to trade it instead since its options were a little cheaper for the day. So yeah, I wrote it up. Actually, I'm short it right now. So I picked up a few 257s a bit ago. So I'm chilling in those, but I'm in profit for the day. So I got a little money to throw on the table.
What'd you just do?
I picked up 257 puts on IWM.
IWM.
Hmm?
Just kind of anticipating that little pullback here.
Yeah,
0D, like it
zero
expires
D.
today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the option right now,
Market pulls
so
back. It's probably going to get in the money.
that's what I'm hoping for. I'd like to
Yeah.
sell these for 35 cents a piece. That's a nice little payback.
What'd you pick them up for?
I picked them up for 10 cents.
Sweet. I like the trade. I don't know if the market's. I kind of feel like the market feels like it's done a little bit today.
That's the unfortunate part about this push, that if it putters out this early, it could pull back pretty significantly because the market has already had a nice, up move the whole day. The only thing that could counter it is a strong continuation to the upside. And I don't know. We're at that. This is that time and place.
There was a headline that just came out just like 10 minutes ago that was a fairly bullish headline. Trump's looking to alleviate tax on corporations even more than he did. And so that's a bullish headline typically. But the market didn't really kind of do anything. It just kind of hesitated there. I like the Bulls look on a lot of time frames. I'm just talking on this like intraday power hour. Yeah, I kind of feel like the pullback makes some sense here. Yeah, I agree. I think the close is going to be very important today. Especially like when you're looking at the ES at that resistance level. If they don't start profit taking and they have a little bit of confidence like going into tomorrow, I think that'd be a positive sign. And so yeah, I do agree with you. I do think the close is going to be fairly important today. And it's true, Trump has cried wolf quite a bit of times on a lot of different things, no doubt about that. And maybe on the headline, the ultimate question is how, right? I mean, how? We just got the big, beautiful bill. Like maybe he's talking on the regulatory side of the equation. I just saw the headline. I don't know what the detail is. If all you do is look at the Nasdaq, guys, I understand why you would have like a little bit of is the market going to pump here? If you're missing out on the market if the only thing you're looking at today is the Nasdaq. Like today's not a Nasdaq move. Today is a cyclical move. Today is the QE trade getting priced in. And so it's like we're seeing significant price action in industrials, finance, basic materials, healthcare, even consumer staples looks pretty good coming off a pivot there. So there's quite a bit of bullishness going on outside of technology itself. Yeah, it's 40 billion sparks that QE trade, and technology doesn't care about the QE trade like at all, at all. Tech beats to its own drum. Tech doesn't drive the same on monetary policy the way other areas of the market do. The cyclical areas and the defensive areas, they are very, very keenly aware of what that 40 billion QE does. QE, an expansion QE policy is literally the bear's worst nightmare. You couple that, Ace, with the Treasury also doing their little mini version of QE right now too. It's a powerful effect. Uh, and oftentimes, Ace, you have to go against trend. You got to pick a fight with the market in that.
You're gonna grab the bull by the horns.
Like, go look at the last two candles on RSP on the daily chart. That's bullish domination. Now put it on a weekly chart, Riz. You're going to see the cleanest breakout in the market.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Huh.
It's been a power move. For those that don't know, that is the establishment of the QE trade. Is it a pricing event? Is it a trend? That's an open question, but it's certainly increasing momentum. Exactly. That's my whole point. We're actually seeing for the first time the first healthy sign of breadth actually improving against the entire marketplace. When you have the RSP breaking out and the ES is not, you're talking about the exact same indexes. RSP is breaking out with momentum, ES still clinging on to that resistance level. What's that say? That say you're having a cyclical move is what that says. Like, there's no other interpretation of it because of the weighting criteria of the SPY versus the RSP. So it's been a pretty powerful move there. Like I said, finance breaking out in multiple time frames, industrials breaking out in multiple time frames. It's been quite impressive, honestly. JPM. Yeah, I'm not messing with JP right now. I have been in City for about a week and a half, Ace. So I'm just kind of riding the train here. Definitely aggressively trying to stop here, though. Like, I loved the breakout of the 104, 105 level.
Well, hello.
Blas, what's up, buddy?
How are you doing? How are we doing?
How you doing? What's your interpretation of all things Fed today, price action? I know you were doing your stream last night. I was so close to popping in, Blas, but then I got a phone call.
No, it's fine.
But
It's fine.
but I was so close, and I promise you I will check in more. But I saw you were holding court last night in your Asian session there. What was your thoughts on the market today?
Very short amount of time. You know, we're watching the markets here. I don't know if you can see this. We got it set
Beautiful,
up.
I can, yes.
There we go. You know, making moves. My interpretation of the market, I have no clue. You know, basic, you know, down bottom retracement all the way back up, and you know, basically just clearing out all the orders that weren't filled. Who knows from here? Gold, though, on the other hand, is golden, almost up 0.9%. So
Yeah,
not
gold's
too
kissing
shabby.
up against that 4,300 level right now.
Yeah. Disappointing. Should have held some trades, you know. Took a bunch of trades just to keep the stream active. Shouldn't have done that probably, but it is what it is. So
Yeah, it does.
whatever
It
well.
does change when you're doing a stream a little bit.
Yeah, just to keep it
Yeah.
active. But it was good. past that, that's about it. My
So did you go long
interpretation.
gold last night?
Did I go
What
long
were you
gold? Yeah, multiple times, and then I canceled one of my orders that would have taken me home the bank.
taking you to the promised land?
Exactly. A
Yeah.
lost opportunity, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this day goes. We're up
It feels like gold
38.
wants to pull back a little bit here, just on the intraday side.
Oh yeah, no, those are real money trades. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, kind of messing around. I mean, we're still positive for the day, so it definitely gave back a handful of pennies to the market through those trades. Everything I do is in live accounts. Um, yeah, yeah. Whoops. But yeah, cool. Well, I'm gonna tune out for a little bit, drop off of this stream, and we'll go from there. But you guys enjoy your day. Stay safe, stay smart, trade it up.
Good to see you, brother.
Peace.
See you, BluSky. Good luck in the market. It's tough. It's tough. Trading live money and stuff. Yeah.
Crude oil has an interesting pattern right now.
Let's take a look at crude. All right.
Yeah,
CL.
give me a 15-minute read on crude. I find it's got a really interesting pattern here.
Oh, it's making a nice cup. You could almost call this a
it's like-
W. It looks like a W too.
It's kind of coming into that pivot up there a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I'll take a look at natural gas. Well,
yeah, crude's cheap. It's nice and cheap right now.
natty gas above those wick highs there. Hang on. I don't trade natty gas a lot, honestly. This thing is nicknamed the Widowmaker for a reason. By the way, it's nicknamed the Widowmaker for people that sell naked calls on natural gas, blowing up a few hedge funds over time.
Oh, man. Well, as they say, you borrow till you can't. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules.
I heard Robert Kiyosaki say one time, listen, if I have $1 million, that's my problem. If I borrow $1 billion from the bank, that's their problem.
Mm-hmm. An old partner of mine in business always used to say, it's easier to spend other people's money than yours.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't find natural gas to be the funnest tradable asset, personally, for a variety of reasons. But one of them is exactly what you just said. Like some of the people that do trade natural gas, they believe a lot in seasonality, and some of that plays out, some of it doesn't. I'm not a massive believer in seasonality. I think it can be a catalyst, but then they chart weather patterns to see if they can get a better edge based on upcoming weather patterns, for example. And I'm just like, isn't there better ways to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
Did you see Trump
By the
is
way,
going to review about making gambling tax-free?
oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, well, does that mean he's going to legalize gambling?
Poly market, here I come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, that's a real headline?
Yeah, that's a real thing. That's a headline. I was commenting on it earlier.
I would never in a million years ever believe a quote unquote Republican conservative would put out no taxation on gambling.
Depends on the lobbyist on how much he paid them.
Depends on the trader there, Anon. But yes, the world of trading definitely has a bunch of gamblers in it.
The gambling. Educated guesses.
That's insane to me. In the big beautiful bill, taxation on gambling, actually, they screwed over gamblers really bad in that. They only allow them to take X amount from a loss perspective, and they basically tax on everything. The big beautiful bill was gamblers complained nonstop about that. So it's
A lot of people.
quite
Oh, I'm sorry.
interesting to see them kind of come back on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of businesses and a lot of groups got the short end of that stick, unfortunately.
Amazon didn't. Small businesses did.
I'm sure that costs a lot for the lobbyist. Campaign contributions. I mean, it affects the outcome of all these things. Unfortunately, it makes it more difficult for real policy to happen. Looks like we might be getting that pullback here. They're probably waiting for imbalances. Could just keep us right here too. It would have actually held. Yeah, I feel you on that. I've been holding a short. I've been holding a short for a little bit. It's still red, but it's okay. Money I'm willing to lose. I got conviction in this play. And I'm 61 cents out the money. So, we'll see what happens. City Index in UK and others betting firms where gambling gains and losses are mine tax event allowed to trade bet just like in US markets. Yeah, as a matter of fact, my buddy that lives in New Zealand, he can use his credit card, he can move crypto and convert it into like cash, and there's like no big deal. He can use his identity to get on gambling sites and do anything he wants. But there's a lot of other countries that are like that as well. We're just, one of those ones that just doesn't. As a matter of fact, I think they was mentioning that Russia is starting to integrate crypto into their payment systems. So who knows? Maybe that's them trying to pivot from the ruble. I mean, that would be the best bet for them to.
That's them trying to pivot from the SWIFT banking system, which basically the Western governments have shut them out of for the last few years.
The only
That's
rule
the
on
central system is the SWIFT banking system.
Yeah. And the bad thing with that is that what would happen in the process? They would collapse the ruble while they transition to Bitcoin, but then everybody holding a ruble, they would be kind of stuck. The bank doesn't hold it. What happens to the people that are holding rubles that are now worthless because it's not backed by anything,
Well, in the 130 times that has happened in the last 100 years, the end consumer holds the bag.
Yeah.
So. Tom Lee came out with his projections for the S&P 500 in 26. Can anybody guess what Tom Lee has as his target in 26 for the S&P 500? Tom Lee is definitely not a bear.
27K.
Permable.
Oh my God.
7,700. He's got 7,700. He says the Fed is weighing downside risk to the labor market while also stopping QT, which is good for the broadening of the markets. Small caps financials hitting record highs is going to be strong for the broadening out of the market. The wall of worry is supported by fears of an AI bubble and a Supreme Court overturning tariffs, which would create uncertainty in policy. He also thinks tech will digest gains from earlier this year going into next year, meaning he's projecting a little bit of consolidation in tech for the Santa Claus rally, and that could lead to rotation in different sectors, i.e. the QE trade. That is what Tom Lee sees right now.
I just had some breakfast tacos myself. What you have for lunch, Blast? Bacon, egg, and a tortilla. I should have put some salsa in it. Yeah, I'm skipping lunch because I'm planning on having a nice dinner tonight. We could send you some Uber Eats. I've got a voucher. I think that's an inside joke, probably more. You'd be down for that. Put you on the clock. Tip you out. Hey, there you go. I could say if you're a starving college student, I'll send you over some crypto. Can you convert over to USD? I'll make it easier for me. I got some Ethereum I can send you. Can spot you at 20 for lunch. After that excruciating after lunch. The after lunch session is terrible, man. I hate it because you can have momentum going into it, and then all of a sudden it can just vanish, and you're like, what? You feel like you're splunking at that moment in the market. Is the best way. That's how I feel. Of course, my friend will buy me a ride, but then I'm left. Oh, all right. That's funny. Funny story. So, like back in the day when I was younger, I used to run nightclubs and stuff. And at a point, I ended up being part owner of a few. So I had this one guy that was a limo service, and he would always pick me up. He would give me rides to the club. If I needed to go eat or run to the mall to go get like an outfit for the weekend, he would scoop me up. And then when I met my wife, she met me when John the limo driver, that's his name, he was basically my limo driver. He'd take me around. So when she met me, she was like, what? This dude's getting cruised around in a limo all the time. That is, I didn't have Ubers. I hate taxis, man. In all honesty, I hate taxis. Taxis are the worst. I've had some bad luck in I'm pretty sure I've gotten scammed in a taxi a couple of times, just because the fees, and they call you back. They're like, oh, there's something wrong with your credit card. And then you got to deal with, they need another $20 fee. It's crazy, man. I hate taxis, though. Chinese taxis are super fun. Yeah, it looks like NQ did fail the breakout, breaking below the 9. my take profit got hit on that. IWN looks like it wants to kind of push up though. Not following the downtrend yet. Somebody's lying though. Oh man, tell me about it. I've seen the videos, so yeah, and it's such a hectic city. Like Mexico City is the busiest city I've ever like really just driven in myself. I've been in New York traffic or LA traffic, and that's pretty crazy. But like Mexico City, that's real hectic. Like especially like downtown Mexico. My credit card, and paper, yeah, yeah. Or they call like when my wife and I went like to Miami last time, they actually called me on the phone. They're like that there was some fee or some. They came up with some hooky story. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, I paid the $20, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think I got scammed. Just glad it was $20. All right, the Russell and the Dow now rejecting as well. We've got 25 minutes left in the New York cash session. I hope you guys enjoyed the day. Don't forget, today is Thursday. So that means we've got our awesome Coach Matt's live mentorship class going on this afternoon. That's right. Inside the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you guys are missing out. He's a fantastic coach. You know, I've learned a lot from him, and I know a few other people that are showing up in Discord every day are. Coach Matt.
Topic today, we're going to be working a little bit on, we're going to review Fed Day, just to kind of see, okay, what could we have learned from yesterday? You know, what transpired, looking at different timelines, and kind of, you know, walking people just to kind of see it through my eyes about how I saw Fed Day. We'll do that at the first, but the topic today is we're going to be talking a little bit about moving averages. You know, EMAs, SMAs, how they're used, and we're going to do 2 sessions over the next couple weeks on moving averages. You know, how they're used. Number one, what are they? But you know, not only from a support resistance, but how to use them from a management perspective. And then next week in our moving average part 2 conversation, we're going to talk about the 3 P's of moving averages: pockets, pulls, and pinches. And so we're going to do a good 2 weeks just dialing in moving averages. They are definitely trend followers. There's no doubt about that. So if you want to learn a little bit about moving averages, that is going to be the topic. And obviously, I'll leave some time at the end to take Q&A as well. I used to not be a big believer in moving averages. Like, for the first kind of 10 years, I was a pure price junkie, but I used to believe that moving averages were not magic lines, I will say, but I thought they were, you know, a rudimentary way of navigating technical analysis. And then algos took over 100% ace. And that changed the ballgame. It just did. And moving averages became very important to me. And then after the pandemic, moving averages, like I don't see the market without seeing the 9 EMA, for example. Like, call it the number one momentum indicator in the market for good reason. It tells so much about the current technical condition. And so we're going to have a good conversation here. OpenAI is launching 5.2 today after they launched 5.1 a month ago. That should tell you everything you need to know about 5.1. It was garbage.
Oh, there we go.
I find myself using Grok much more these days than Chat GPT. I will be interesting to see what they did fix in 5.2 because Chat GPT is really good, can be really good on, it can be a helpful assistant in many ways on like presentations and creative design and formatting, and it can help you format articles. Can't help you write it. It's quite frankly not that intelligent. Um, but Grok, I've found, is far, far better on research, like far more accurate on research. And I might start incorporating a little bit of Gemini. I kind of like Gemini. I play with it every now and then.
Hmm.
But I'm souring on Sam Altman and OpenAI in general. I think Sam Altman needs to shut his mouth and not talk anymore.
Well, it's getting a little spicy here into the close.
Yeah, we are. We'll pull back.
Well, it's an interesting point here in the market. Could it rip or could it dip? Or are they gonna? Well, we're down though. We're red, so we're not quite flat yet. Well, ES is actually
Yes, up
green.
9 points right now.
Yeah, so NQ is kind of lagging right here.
It's the Oracle situation on the NQ that's lagged.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it is today, Nikki. Like I feel this, like I feel like the market did a really good job today on the recovery for the bulls. I think it's a very big ask to go from recovery to momentum breakout without some development. Um, you and me both. Yeah, I was not loving the overnight session at all for the bulls. Like to go from testing that breakout level to all of a sudden giving everything back. I was very and I was aware of the London Open. I was aware that the market was trying to recover before I went to bed, but I was nervous last night. Thinking, yeah, it could have spun. It could have spun out of control a little bit, but it didn't. And so you got to give the Bulls a lot of credit for the fight back. But once again, don't they kind of lose most, like if you're fighting back, it's kind of hard to take that and run from that.
Mm-hmm. Looks like IWN is going to break out, or the Russell. Is the Dow doing that?
Oh, oh yeah, the Dow did, bro. Like strong, like very, very strong. Like Dow, Russell, RSP, any cyclical area of the market is a lot of you guys weren't around for the 2010 QE trade, global synchronized growth trade. It only lasted 10 years. The global synchronized growth trade was the easiest trade in the history of mankind. All central banks had a zero interest rate policy. All of them took their cues from the BIS. That's the two big ones, Ace. And that's honestly, it's the only two ones that have me stopping from going full port, like aggressive here. Because the Bank of Japan is, if we can get through the Bank of Japan without sparking an unwind, and if we can get through labor without sparking too much debate on path of policy, like bulls should have clear selling. I would agree. And we get both of those next week. Is Japan on Monday night? Or are they Tuesday? I don't say they're Monday night. Walk. Market's pegged at 69 right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's crazy. This price action, I tell you. You know, we know where it should theoretically go, but you know, you can see how it's just being held there.
Still got to navigate it.
Uh-huh.
Like this is 3 out of the last 5 candles that we've tested the 6,900 level and have not broken.
Mm-hmm.
Which floods? The answer would be no. Yeah, there was some. Yeah, there was some. I live up a little bit, like up in the mountain a little bit. And so we're on higher ground, but there was definitely flooding. No. I don't live like that there, Blas. No. I'm not the guy that needs a gated community in my life. Kid from Emory County, Utah, born and raised in a middle class family. That's not me, brother. There's better things to do things with money. I got my Toyota Tundra 2020. I love that thing. I'm gonna drive that thing into the dirt, Blas, because that's what I do. Like that will be my truck, Blas, until that truck does not drive. I'm not the. I'm just. I guess my point is, I'm not the guy that thinks you need a billion different things in life to satisfy. You know what I mean? Yeah, born and raised. Lived in Utah first 43 years of my life. Graduated from the University of Utah. BYU fan though. I'm a weird dude from Utah. Everybody in Utah knows everybody. We're all a bunch of cousins.
Feels fun.
Yeah. That's a joke, guys. We're not all cousins.
Unless your name is Daryl and you got another brother named Daryl, and then your other brother's named Daryl, then maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say then you're from Bama.
Oh, that's right? Was it Bama? I don't know who
Plus,
that
that face
is.
looks familiar, but that face looks like 40% of people from Utah. Ace never stops, brother. I got him till the cows come home. By the way, I love Utah. Utah's a great place. Economically, you're not going to compete with any state won't compete with the amount of ability to grow as you can in Utah. It is a great business state. When you were born in Utah, you were born with an entrepreneurial mindset. They instill it in you. Yeah, I've seen that guy. What's his name, though, Blas? Yeah, that's right. Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers was one of the great investors in commodities. Made lots of money in the commodity areas. Wasn't he part of the Soros group back in the day? Yeah, like the 70s and 80s. I want to say he was part of the. Was he part of the destruction of the Bank of London? I want to say he was.
Look at this rip on the market.
There's the bulls.
Yeah.
There's the bulls.
Wow. They waited for the imbalances to kick in
Mm-hmm.
and they just cooked it.
Yep, there's the bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Get above 08. Smack it. You close above 69 here. You close above 69.08 here. That'd be a good look going in tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
No wick day, Ace? Are we going to get it? No wick day? Ace is hungry.
What time is today? I was eyeing the SPX calls. They were, how cheap were these things? They were 55 cents just seconds ago, up to 340. Just right in front of my face. I was like, you know what? That's not a bad price. Wow. And she's still not green on the day. Means there's still some more to go.
There's a 1.5 difference between IWM and the NQ today.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive relative outperformance on IWM.
You know, the other day you mentioned about small caps, and as of that day, I decided to incorporate watching IWM and the Russell. You know, just because of liquidity and the contracts also line up with the cost I like. So I've been keeping an eye on them. Especially since they offer that trend, and sometimes I'm kind of like unsure about the market, and I start looking at the Dow, the Russell, and I can be like, okay, now I kind of get the sense of bearing of which direction, because I've been taking short trades. I had a short trade this morning that worked out, very well, and it was all just, basically combining that in. You guys know I'm not a great short trader. I'm a better long trader.
I'm a better long trader as well, personally.
Yeah, that was some great knowledge you've been dropping.
Who here would consider themselves a better short trader? Like I personally consider myself a better long trader. Anon, Gabby, you're like, I'm a long guy. Plus, like, I'm really good at triggering a stop loss.
I love
Oh, it's
Bless.
so funny, Gabber. I'm a momentum junkie. I love momentum patterns. Big believer in allowing momentum to play out. But I would definitely say I prefer taking a long trade. Wasn't always the case for me though. Back in the day, I would vastly prefer taking a short trade. Bears have to be technically better because they have to be much cleaner on their entries. They don't Bulls can be messier because the market's built for bulls. There's more leeway there. You know what I mean? Bears got to be much cleaner on entries. Now, personally, I think you should be clean on either side of the ledger. Trade your systems, trade your rules, trade your levels. But in general, I would definitely consider Bears more messy on entries than Bears. Yeah. Bulls more messy on entries than Bears. Bulls will lob grenades into the market constantly.
Constantly too early. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
in the
Riz,
higher
I'm going
time
to check
frame
out and
zone.
go get ready for my lab, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach
All right.
Matt, for hanging out with me here in Power Hour today. Have a great class.
Sounds good. We'll see you here in a second, team.
All right, team. And thanks again to Coach Matt. Don't forget to catch his great class coming up here in 6 minutes. Don't want to miss it. Bring those notepads, those trade journals, because that's the start of a great trader, is taking those notes, showing up to work each and every single day, learning from your mistakes and holding yourself accountable. So make sure you take some notes of those trades, even bad ones, the good ones. You got to pat yourself on the back, but the account shows that, whether you're green or red, that's what shows whether you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and at least in the right direction. It may be a difficult path, but you'll get there. Do not anticipate a move without the market confirmation. Being a little late in your trade is your insurance that you aren't right or wrong. Yep, exactly. Don't anticipate the trade. Just be dynamic with it. I was a little surprised we didn't break out more. I thought the market had it in it. Fairly surprised that, some of the big caps just couldn't do it. But, like Coach Matt said, might be more sector rotation. One more time, okay? It's end of the day, brother. You're gambling at this point. You have imbalances. You have market makers coming in at this hour, repositioning themselves into tomorrow's session. And that's the reality of what's happening at this time of day. It's an adjustment of the books for the market makers. That's why in the last minute or two, you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose just as quickly as that, where the market just flip flops. So you got a market maker come in, put in a huge order, and sway the market, a few points. So it makes it more volatile, more risky. But if you're looking for volatility and the chance of glory, then Power Hour can sometimes scratch that itch. Right, Nacho? But you can always be tricked, like the good man says. I got you on that one. Hey, I'm sorry, my soundboard, my stream deck with Streamlabs has been kind of out of sync, so I've been missing some of my stuff. So it's getting there. All right, last minute. Will she dip or will she rip? Come on, point of truth. All right, come on. Will it give it to us? Will it rip it or dip it? I'm thinking we dip a little. I was hoping for a little dip, a little bit more of a pullback, and then after hours they rip it. I wasn't hoping that they would do it like right now. It looks like they're going to do it right now. They are going to do it right now. Let's see. Ding, ding, ding. There's your bell. And there's your closing price action. A ripper into the close. Of course, the manipulated close, as one good friend of mine calls it. He calls it exactly like that. Yeah, I don't make the rules, as they say. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. Make sure you catch Coach Matt's class coming up right now. You don't want to miss that again for those friends of ours on the intro web and BluSky, as well as Coach Steven. They'll be like collab clashing. BluSky, you doing yours after Steve's class, or what are you doing? You doing a late class, or what's the word? Asia. Okay, so 8 p.m. Eastern. So probably after Steve's. His is a little bit earlier than that, I believe. I think he runs 6 to 7. So we'll see what's up. Hey, stop in the Discord. Check out the rest of our great community. If you haven't already, if you're looking for an opportunity to change your life, then today's the day. Take advantage of our great sales, launch plans on sale for $59 and $69, as well as direct to funded, 20 and 25% off. But check those out on the socials. And if you're looking for a great special, then use code RISK for 30% off. All right, team. As always, good luck in the market. And I will see you guys Monday. I'm going to miss you guys. Maybe I'll do, you know what? Do you guys want my levels? Since some of you guys trade my levels, I will drop those in tomorrow morning. So they will be in there. Can I make that happen? Yes, I can make that happen. It's going to be late. It's going to be super early because I got a flight to catch at like 7:30. Much love, everybody. Have a great day in the market. Have a great weekend. See y'all, team.